breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring
This is
fresh
GhanaTalks
stories,
Radio,
fresh
the
energy
best
every
station rocking the
morning,
nation.
full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Only on GhanaTalks Radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day. Every voice, every vision, lighting up the way. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. When you see cause on air, where the spark inside the flame.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning to you. It's a lovely rainy Wednesday morning right here on GhanaTalks Radio. You are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is your favorite online radio station. We're streaming live on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio TV, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. Do well to join us this morning on the Breakfast Show. And this morning we are bringing you the news review, and right here we bring you all the relevant stories making waves in the news. And I am your host, Ruth Nam Fiakodu, and I'm doing this with Miss Richina Bless and Miss Tapia Adoso. Good morning to you, ladies, and you're welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Hope all is well.
My grace is
It's
sufficient.
a rainy Wednesday morning. It's drizzling a bit, but from the way I'm seeing the weather, no, maybe it's going to rain. But make sure that you're safe out there, wherever you are. Right, let's get into the news. Minority cites major defects in Wuntumi's judgment, vows legal and parliamentary action. The minority in parliament has criticized the 20-year prison sentence handed to NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Aintree Bresiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, describing the High Court judgment as fundamentally flawed. Speaking to journalists in Parliament, Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Apije said the minority had identified what it considers 4 major legal defects in the judgment and would pursue all lawful avenues to challenge the conviction. One of the concerns raised is that Wuntumi's lead lawyer was not present when the judgment was delivered. The minority argues that the court had been informed that the lawyer was outside the country on a prior professional engagement. The minority also criticized the judge's decision not to refer constitutional questions concerning Section 99 2B of the Minerals and Mining Act to the Supreme Court, and according to the caucus, the judge's decision to rule that the provision was clear and unambiguous was legally questionable. Another concern relates to the court's decision to lift the corporate veil of Akonta Mining Limited. The minority argues that the company and Wontumi are separate legal entities and should not have been treated as one for the purpose of the conviction. The caucus says these issues, among others, will form part of its effort to challenge the judgment through the appropriate legal channels. The minority has stressed that it will pursue the matter through the appeal process, parliament, and public advocacy, while insisting that its objective is to ensure that judgment is done, proper justice is being done. So this is what happened yesterday in Parliament. They held a press conference yesterday at the 4 courts of Parliament, and they mentioned that they have cited 4 major defects in Wuntumi's judgment, and they have vowed to pursue it the legal way and take parliamentary actions to that. And one of the defects she mentioned was that Wuntumi's lead counsel was not in the country and had notified the court that prior to professional engagement, I wouldn't be available on the day of judgment. So they appealed, or let me say, they prayed to the court to delay or extend the judgment date, which was supposed to be on the 22nd of July, which would have been today. But the judge dismissed that and still went ahead to pronounce judgment. Ms. Debbie, assuming the lead counsel was to be in Parliament that day, do you think there would have been any change in the judgments the judge gave?
There still wouldn't be a change because I feel like this whole process have already been decided. This is not a one-day job. It is something that they've been working on since Wontumi has been present in court not today. It started, I think, from the beginning of this year or middle this year. The issue popped out somewhere last year, but then the whole proceeding began somewhere early this year or maybe middle this year.
With he going to court or the issue coming up?
The issue coming up came about somewhere last year, but with him going to court, it started early this year. So this case is not a case that was deliberated on within a day. It's a case that took a very long process. So regardless whether the counsel of Wontumi was in court or not, the court will still give, or the judge will still give his final verdict. And you see, the final verdict that was being given to the judge was being given by the judge was not something that was being put together or piled up by the judge. It was based on the evidences they've gathered, based on what was said by the witnesses that came to court, based on the infos that were being presented by the first counsel of Wontumi. And then the first counsel of Wontumi was who? Api Akubi.
Yes.
He was the one who started the whole process, and then Atachia took over. So whether Atachia is in court or not, the final verdict will still be given. Although if Atachia was in court, he would try his possible means to reverse, but I'm not sure it's going to work, because we saw that after Apia Kubi withdrew and then Atacha taking over,
Yes.
he pleaded that the final verdict that was supposed to be given on 3rd July be shifted, and then it was being shifted to 20th. And then after that, he also came back to plead that there are certain things he needs to do and all that, and so the final day should be postponed again. And the court said no, because based on what he said, they didn't find any legal base in his argument on which the court can stand on as a firm ground to which the day of the final verdict on Wuntumi's case pertaining illegal mining should be postponed. So whether Atachia is in court or not, the final verdict will still be given. But with Atachia not present, I learned that he went for his daughter's graduation in UK.
Hey, that came to light yesterday.
And that is why he was not in court. So all this whole thing does not really make sense to me. You went for your daughter's graduation. I feel like he just want to. You see, one thing I've realized is that this MPP as a party, they know what the final result of Wontumi case will be, and so they kept withdrawing themselves. But because they don't want to make it look as if they have betrayed Wontumi, so they are not making it look as if yes, and it's as if the verdict of the court is being politicized and all that. But if you feel like you can do something, why didn't you do it for long? And these are evidences were clear that this man was engaged in the act. So there is nothing you can do. It could have been easy if their government was in power. If their government was in power, they could have pardoned him, or they could have even fined him. Even a jail term, they could have even given something like 1 year. And MPP 4 days, they can even give him like 2 years or kota 5 years. Yesterday we talked to some people and they said we should be giving 30 years. 30 years, that the 20 years is too small. So you see, you going for your daughter's graduation is still not a valid excuse to give. It's still not a valid excuse to give, because as a lawyer, someone can stand in for you. Your wife is there, your family members are there. In as much as it is very, very significant that you need to be present at your daughter's graduation, but then your wife or someone in the family can stand in for you.
Right. So according to reports, the reason why the judge dismissed Atache's plea to the court to extend the judgment date was that the judge mentioned that you were in court when they scheduled that the judgment will be declared on 20th, and you still didn't say anything about that. So is he trying to say that he didn't have the date of his daughter's graduation in mind? You didn't even check your schedule. You have a calendar. You didn't even check your schedule to know that, oh, it actually falls on something that is equally so important. So I think that at that juncture, right at that moment, maybe you could have stood up and, raise your concerns, but rather waited for last minute before praying to the court to extend the judgment date. Ms. Regina, they said that the 20 years, the minority says that the 20 years is excessive. But there's one thing that I would like for us to read on before you come in with your submission. So per my readings, the minority now amended the Minerals Act, and then they slated for anybody who is caught should be in prison not less than 15 years and not more than 25 years. So this is what it reads: a person who, without a license granted by the minister, undertakes a mining operation contrary to a provision of this act, acts or instigates, commands, cancels, procures, solicits, or in any manner purposely aids, facilitates, encourages, or promotes any act in contravention of a provision of this act in respect of which a penalty has not been specified, or contracts a non-Ghanaian to provide mining support services, commits an offence and it's liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 10,000 penalty units and not more than 15,000 penalty units, and to a term of imprisonment of not less than 15 years and not more than 20 years. Is it backed by law or not? Looking at what I just read.
Okay. So with the minority, they're saying that the sentence given to Wontumi, they would fight it, blah blah blah. To me, it is normal. It is understandable that they want to fight the sentence given to, or I should talk based on what you read.
Oh, no, proceed. Sorry.
Okay. So as I was saying, everyone has the right to seek for an appeal. Anyone has the right to criticize what a high court, a supreme court had, the final verdict given. Everyone has that right. So in my case, they said they'll go back and forth with the court. They would make sure that upon Kumampo said I say we would dig into this issue. We will bring out evidences. And I was like, you bring out evidences. So what happened during the process of all the back and forth each and every day? One thing I liked about Chema to me was the fact that he really cooperated.
Yes.
He availed himself, because yesterday I was saying, this man is rich enough to leave the country and never return again. Yehubi. Kenoforiata or Pobeba or Pa Omba. So extradition process so with Chema to me, he could have left the country. So I think looking at how he cooperated, and also can't be into man 20 years no.
Yes, the judge mentioned that.
20 years. Right, okay. Because when Debbie and I yesterday we went out, someone was like, indulging in that act is more than you killing someone. Because at the end of the day, the people in that community, some of them suffered a lot of losses. Some of them even died. So you are more than a criminal. And he also mentioned that the 20 years is little. Onupodio say, yeah, man, 30 to 40 years. And some mothers, we know mothers already, they are already compassionate. The mothers almost
Have they been pregnant and you give birth and your baby is deformed?
Mind dear, they don't know. They've
that
not
was the
experienced
case
it.
of the people in Western region.
Oh,
Due to galamsey.
the dangerous chemicals.
You get it?
So Chema to me, if truly minority want to say with the ruling that the judge gave, it had a lot of major defects, then they should go to court,
Exactly.
present their evidence. But my problem is, you know that this was ongoing for a very long period of time. What stopped you from making an investigation? What stopped you from taking your evidence to court? Why were they waiting? Say, almost sentenced, you are not making another press conference issue. Exactly, that is what they did. They organized another press conference. Sometimes we should be logic, and we should be valid and reasonable as Ghanaians and also as leaders. We shouldn't always hide behind the lens of politics and, excuse me to say, to act irrationally.
Yeah. It's correct.
Irrationally. It's correct.
It's correct.
Yes, it's correct. So as I was saying, when you look at these politicians, it looks like almost what their papa so. And during their time, you could say it was evidence that no one can touch Chema Wontumi. For him to come on live television to even showcase gold, real gold, shows he was untouchable at that period. And also listening to what some people are saying, he's the financier of MPP. And so I say, Omo Bank of Ghana no okodem nti sisi anombe anything. Sisi anombe anything. But senipa ni de bonia, we should allow the law to take its course. If it was a normal human being who has no public office, who is not known in Ghana, do you think anyone will come out to say that the 20 years is what?
Yeah,
It's too much.
It's too much.
No. Akoya said the law is only favoring the rich people, and it is not favoring the poor people. And we should stop that. the fact that we're already having issues with our judicial, the public having trust in the judicial system is already big enough. So they should just focus on that and rebuild it. If they don't know and they come back and they tell us that Chairman to me has his sentence that has been slashed to 1 year, a chrome
So looking at all what the minority is doing, do you think that a sort of fueling mistrust that
that is what they are doing,
that the public has in the judicial, Miss Debbie?
Yeah, that is exactly what they are doing. You see, it's quite surprising because they passed the law themselves. So I kept asking myself, what were they thinking? Well, maybe they were thinking they'll be in power for so long, and so they can use that to
as an advantage.
Yes, as an advantage to arrest people on the side of the then minority, which is the current majority in parliament, and that is the NDC. So I'm quite surprised. And then you see the reasons they've stated as to that being the sole ground to which the court cannot sentence Wontumi to 20 years imprisonment does not make sense. It doesn't make sense because when you look at the Minerals Act, let me get this right, the Minerals Act 703 section 14, it says that a mineral right or license cannot be transferred, assigned or used by another person without prior written consent of the minister responsible for mine. And it also states in Article 257 Clause 6 of the 1992 Constitution that all minerals in the natural state are vested in the president and on behalf of the people of Ghana. So you don't own the minerals even if you own the land.
Yeah.
And then Section 3 of the Act 703 states that no person shall prospect for mine or deal in mineral except under a license granted under this act. So you see, there is more to that, but maybe for the sake of time, I should read it. Okay, let me just conclude. Let me conclude. So this basically means that when you are being the MPP is stating that they've given a concession, that is they've given a particular land, if it is maybe 20 acres of land, and then the natural and land mineral resources gives you like 1 acre out of the 7 acres to mine. That is your concession. Now the MPP are stating that they've given a concession to Wontumi. How wrong is it for Wontumi to give that concession to another person? It is wrong. It is wrong. If that concession is being approved by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources of the ministry, you have no right to still give part of it to another person to mine. You still have to seek the permit of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. And Wontumi didn't do that. Because when you go ahead to do that, you don't have that right to supervise and even monitor the people to ensure that they are doing the right thing. So 1, they are causing damage to the land. 2, they are destroying the forest reserves. And 3, they are endangering the lives of people in that community. And we saw that of Samaboy, where people died as a result of this illegal mining. There were instances that people were not even involved in illegal mining, but because of the recklessness of these illegal miners, when they are done, they don't even cover the pit. So you go and step the shroom, then you are inside, you are dead. For something that you know nothing of. So this thing, I feel like they are pushing themselves into a pit. They'll get themselves trapped because the reason they are stating is not valid. It is not valid enough.
It's not valid.
I think they should go back and read the judgment and also what the law states.
Yeah, I think yesterday after the press conference that Madam APJ actually held, I heard one of the communicators and also a political analyst, I've forgotten his name, said that you should go back and read the judgment again. Take your time and read it. To the extent that he even told her that, you know what, pick the judgment, put it in ChatGPT to explain it to you. That was actually what he said, and I laughed. I was like, ChatGPT should translate a judgment.
They would do it.
So right now the question is the minority saying that Chairman Wontumi did no wrong? That is the question we are asking. Is that what they are saying? All right, let's proceed to our next news item. There's a new development on the case of Ken Ofori-Atta and the OSP. U.S. immigration judge says OSP allegations against Ofori-Atta lack credible evidence. A United States immigration judge has reportedly raised concerns and questions about the evidence presented against former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in connection with allegations of criminal wrongdoing. The case came up during proceedings over Mr. Ofori-Atta's application for permanent residence in the United States. The judge, David Gade, reportedly said the information presented by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, including an affidavit from Ghana's Office of the Special Prosecutor, did not provide enough evidence to show that Mr. Ofori-Atta had personally benefited from his position as a public official or taken part in a criminal conspiracy. The judge described the allegations as lacking sufficient fact to establish criminal conduct. However, the OSP has rejected reports suggesting that the U.S. court has dismissed or cleared Mr. Ofori-Atta of the criminal allegations against him in Ghana. The OSP says the immigration case in the United States is separate from its criminal investigations in Ghana. It also clarified that it did not request Mr. Ofori-Atta's arrest or detention in the U.S., saying that action was taken by U.S. immigration authorities under American immigration laws. The development has therefore raised questions about the strength of the evidence being used against the former finance minister and whether the U.S. immigration ruling could have any impact on the ongoing case in Ghana. Do you think that is going to have any impact on the case concerning Ken Ofori-Atta, Miss Regina?
If they are saying that it lacks credible evidence,
Yes.
it will affect it now. It will affect it.
But this is an immigration case, and right here in Ghana, it's a criminal case. So if you ask me, in my opinion, I think there are two different issues altogether.
So the evidence in Ghana here, it is your friend is saying criminal case.
He's facing criminal allegations.
And
Exactly.
then to them.
And to them,
And to them, it is immigration.
immigration.
So it means. So does it mean the OSP? Oh. Okay. Because I'm trying to get the evidence.
that he presented.
The evidence that he presented. But I think from the previous discussions we had, the evidence he presented was based on the issue of this finance issues like Sikanana, and also I think they came out at a point to the U.S. immigration, or I think the U.S. immigration at a point came out to say that, or it was not the U.S. immigration, one of the people we are dealing with came out to say that the issue against Ken Ofori-Atta is politically motivated. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
Okay. So to Ken Ofori-Atta, President John Dramani Mahama said that, Father, come home.
Yeah.
Come home and come and face your allegations. If truly you know that what...
Come home to your children. Come home to your allegations.
Come home to your father.
To your children.
Oh, come home to your children. It's true. It's true. It's true. Hey, Ken Ofori-Atta. Come home and answer your questions. If you know that indeed, why should you be running away? Why should you be running away? Come and answer the questions. And to the U.S. immigration, I don't really know the evidence OSP presented, but from what we know, if they are trying to tell us that all the SML, this financial irregularities presented to them were not credible evidence enough, then does it mean that they want OSP to cut their heads for them so that they will know that we are serious in this country? See, that is what I'm saying, sir. The government of Ghana, between all the states that we have this rapport with, if you want to extradite anyone, you give us our people first, we also give you your people. Simple. Look at your Buchika. But They did not even waste time. But when they were done with all the Ghana court proceedings and all that, he was found guilty, and they took him away. But when it's just say, I can't say Drew Ghana baby, so they are you can't say what you
Yeah.
I can't say I said the muffin and I don't know. It's many day. Nanado.
Mafia king.
Yeah, Nanado almost say. He said he needs apology first.
Yeah. And
oh, you didn't hear?
Compensation.
Oh, you did not hear? Oh, and they were chibu.
Papa. Papa.
According to the U.S. attorney, he said that the past president asked for compensation for the transatlantic slave trade and also an apology first before they extradite anyone to their country.
Yeah.
So you can see, during that period, they were really protecting Abuchika. Because during that period, na by now, but protecting no. Mahama nkwa ba so no akpa omode ne ko Mahama our producer say Mahama sune
the whole.
So I think they need to have a formal conversation with these people. If they are supposed to even go to that country, they should go there. They should pack all the documents from the cathedral, from the e-levy, from the betting tax, all those documents. They should pack it and go there and go and have a one-on-one conversation with them. So that if this man will come back into the country, he needs to come back. Chema won't to mean them in 20 years. And also on brown, on may in Samano. If someone, then they leave you. Someone, you will with them.
Consider his age.
Which age? Chema won't to me. See his age. He's there. They've arrested a whole lot of even Nelson Mandela crown or no crown for them.
It's sad. Mr. B.
So you see, one thing I've realized is that this US, they want to dictate for us what we should do. Now, if you are saying that the case that was being presented or the evidences that was being presented to your people, it's not a criminal case, and then when you come to Ghana, it's a criminal case. You should understand that your laws there and the laws here are not the same. So just as we have respected your laws, and then we've abide by the rules and extradited what's the name, Abutrika from Ghana to your country, we didn't violate that. Maybe if we want to carefully check what your law state, it is also normal here in Ghana, which we might not even see it as a criminal case. So you also need to respect what the law states here in Ghana. We are saying that it's a criminal case. So extradite Ken Ofori-Atta for us. As simple as that. Why are you trying to make the case so difficult? And then you want to dictate for us in your country what we should be doing here. The fact that you've is it colonized? Were they the one that colonized that? I know you colonization. The British, yes. Yes. So let's just term them as one people. The fact that you did that doesn't mean that you still have full control over us, because it should tell you we are even seeking for compensation. It should tell you that we are not happy. So you don't have any right to dictate to us what we should do with Ken Ofori-Atta, what we shouldn't do with Ken Ofori-Atta. We want him back here. He needs to come and account to us the 58 million that was being pumped in the air in the name of building a national cathedral, the SML and then GRF irregularities. He needs to come and he needs to come and explain that, because the OSP together with the Attorney General presented a case with 78 counts. 78 count was leveled against Ken Ofori-Atta.
Just a 78 count, you need a share.
That is what they are trying to say, that we should forgo it. Why, like, in a way, you are trying to say that the attorneys we have here, the OSP we have here, in fact, all the investigation and the investigative bodies we have here are not credible. They don't know what they are doing, and whatsoever they've done, the nights they couldn't sleep. I mean, the toil is in vain. That is exactly what you're trying to tell us. So for me, they cannot dictate for us what we should do here. What we are saying is simple. We are not asking for more. We say just allow Ken Oforiatta here. And you see, with what Mahama and the NDC government has done to Oforiatta, you'll be scared. If Wuntimi was given 20 years, and there's over the 100 years, 58 million or National Cathedral, that one to the evidence is clear. They destroyed, they demolished lawyers' bungalows to build National Cathedral. And it has become a manhole. The SML and GRA issue, and also the whole, you need to come and explain to us. Monies do not have legs to fly. And that is why we need Ken Oforiatta here. So we are not asking for too much. And one more thing, don't sit in your country and be dictating for us what we should do here. And don't make it look as if the attorneys, the investigative bodies we have here do not have sense in what they are doing.
It's a lot. Definitely there's going to be a new development on the case between Ken Oforiatta and OSP. But what I wish is that we could go on agreement that if you extradite Ken Oforiatta, you are free to extradite. We also extradite someone from our country to you. So it should be an exchange. But unfortunately, they extradited Abu Trika, and it's a lot of controversies. Thank you so much for joining us on the news review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you today in history and some global observances live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. 1994, military coup in the Gambia led by Yahya Jammeh. The then Lieutenant Yahya Jammeh and a group of young army officers overthrew President Dawda in a bloodless military coup. The junta formed the Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council and promised a quick return to civilian rule, but ultimately entrenched the 22-year authoritarian regime. Moving on, 1969, Oliver Tambo assuming the presidency of the African National Congress. After serving as the acting president and acting head of the movement in exile, after the ANC was banned in South Africa, Tambo was tasked with leading the ANC's mission in exile, operating the underground organization while Nelson Mandela and other senior leaders were imprisoned. He served as the president of the ANC for over 2 decades, famously mobilizing global support and coordinating anti-apartheid campaigns. In 1991, due to declining health following a stroke, he yielded the ANC presidency to Nelson Mandela and was elected as the party's national chairman. 1991, cannibal and serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer is caught. After an intended victim, Tracy Edwards, escaped and flagged down police, officers discovered dismembered bodies, skulls, and preserved organs in Dahmer's apartments, leading to his conviction for 16 murders. To some global observants, today is World Brain Day. This was established by the World Federation of Neurology in 2014 to raise global awareness about brain health and neurological disorders, with over 3.4 billion people living with neurological conditions. It serves as a crucial campaign to promote prevention, education, and equitable healthcare access. This day is also recognized as World Fragile X Day, to recognize families impacted by Fragile X syndrome and to highlight ongoing research for effective treatment and a cure. It features global monument illuminations, community gatherings, and fundraising initiatives like Step Up for World Fragile X Day. Fragile X syndrome is a genetic condition and the most common inherited single-gene cause of autism and intellectual disability. It is caused by a mutation in the FMR1 gene on the X chromosome. It disrupts the production of a protein essential for brain development. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances. Live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear or favor. About 4.2 million Ghana cedis have been deducted from the allowances of national service personnel deployed to government institutions nationwide to fund a capacity building program that has since been suspended amid concerns from beneficiaries. Director General of the National Service Authority disclosed that 99,508 national service personnel had been deployed across the country, including nurses. Of this number, nearly 29,000 were deployed to private sector institutions, meaning approximately 70,508 personnel were serving in government institutions and were therefore affected by the deduction. Each affected national service person had 60 cedis deducted from their May allowance. The National Service Personnel Association explained that total amount to represent 15 Ghana cedis monthly deduction over 4 months to fund the capacity building program. Joy News research calculations based on the estimated 70,508 personnel serving in government institutions. The deduction amount to approximately 4.2 million. The association, however, maintains that the initiative was designed to bridge the gap between graduate and employment by equipping young people with additional skills beyond the academic qualification. The training program comprised 5 courses and was scheduled to be delivered nationwide by the Zeus Atlas Limited. In an interview, the president of the National Service Personnel Association, Wahab Bala Mohammed, explained the initiative was first piloted in the Greater Accra region. The program has since been suspended following a directive from the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment after concerns were raised over the deduction and the implementation of the initiative. Some national service personnel have questioned the need for the program, arguing they have not participated in any training sessions and therefore should not have been subjected to deduction. The development, however, raises a broader question about representation and consultation. How did a program intended to benefit national service personnel and backed by an association representing them become the subject of such strong resistance from some of the very people it was designed to serve? So 42 million Ghana cedis has been deducted from national service personnel allowance, and the reason given was that they are deducting this money for a capacity building program, and this program is to teach or educate this graduates who are currently NSS personnel on other skills, maybe sewing, maybe baking and all that. And that is because they want to bridge the gap between unemployment, the number of unemployment youth we have here, and then the number of graduates that are employed. So that is because more times we've seen graduates who complete school and then after serving the government, they don't get employed on time. So they brought out this policy, and that has to do with a deduction of 15 Ghana cedis every month. 15 Ghana cedis every month for 4 months. And they do that because they want to use that money to fund for the program. Now my question is, how do you go forward? How do you take a step or initiative to deduct my money without my consent? It is not done anywhere. You can't deduct my money without seeking my consent. These are personnel who are serving the government for 1 year. And you see, these nurses, they don't get their money like other graduates in other field. Graduates in other field like maybe journalism, like maybe PR or other government institutions. You get your money after the month. And even with that, there are proceedings you need to follow. But when it comes to the nurses and the doctors that are doing their serving the government or offering their service to the government, they don't get their money. They don't get paid at the end of the month. They get paid after they are done with their service. And even sometimes they don't get the money in full. It comes in bits. And I can boldly tell you that NSS personnel who have completed, who are done with their NSS service last year, have not even received part of the money they've worked for. They've not received it. And then you go ahead to deduct the money. And this wasn't done without the consent of the National Service Personnel Association. They know it. They were aware. So if we have an association that is covering these people, that becomes a mediator, or they are now the intermediary between the government and this NSS personnel. If there is an issue like this, why don't you communicate to your people? You go ahead to deduct money, so can embody that, and then you still go ahead to deduct it. Now this NSS personnel are complaining that they've not received any training. You took the money because you want to train them. Aside them being trained as a professional nurse, you want to also build their capacity in other skills. You've deducted the money. There was nothing like training. And you've not stated your reasons. And you see, that is how corruption starts. Oh. This is how it starts. Someone might be like, oh, 60 cedis, they're saying yes, guys, papa. 60 cedis is money. Excuse me. Go to the street and offer someone 60 cedis and see how they will appreciate you. It's as if you've given them the whole world. It should tell you how hard the system is. These are NSS personnel who receive 700 cedis in a month. 700. A whole Ghana, 700. What the hear they? Transport alone has consumed that money. Not to even talk about your feeding. And then when it has to do with these nurses, sometimes you get posted. You get posted out of your region. Like even places like the northern region, places like the eastern region, upper west region, places that you don't even know anybody. And then you have to pay for your own accommodation. And then aside all this, you still don't receive what you're supposed to receive at the end of the month. The money doesn't come on time. And then you need to be begging authorities to get paid. And after that, you go to deduct their money. It is good. It is good to learn skills attached to what you already know. Because the country in which we find ourselves and how hard the system is, if you want to depend on one work, you will die before your time. So you need to be like a tree with many branches. What you depend on for the month, and you still have other businesses where you generate revenues from. That is how you can survive right here in Ghana. And then you go ahead to deduct money without their consent. And they are complaining. I wouldn't have much problem if their money even comes on time. It doesn't come on time. And you see, with the government institution, it's a different thing altogether. Because in the private institutions, they do their possible best to pay you at the end of the month. Sorry. They do their possible best to pay you at the end of the month. But with the government institution, you need to go to procedures, you sign letters and all that before you get your money. 700. 700. At least 1,000 or 1,500 is not bad. 1,000 or 1,500 is not bad. NSS personnel are equally doing their work. If you go to some offices, NSS personnel are doing the work even more than those who are employed. you don't get to receive your money. And even if you receive your money, they still deduct it. It doesn't tally. It doesn't tally. At least, the reason why you are deducting that money, let it be effective. Train them. But you deducted the money because you said you are investing it into a capacity building program to train these people on hand-on skills. Skills that will benefit them even if they don't get employed on time. They can still get something to do to survive. Before maybe at the appointed time or at the right time they get employed by the government. And there was no program. They said, according to this NSS personnel, they were not involved in any program. They don't even know that something of that sort is going on. 42 million is not something we should joke about. It is not something we should joke about. Please, we are begging you. The money is not enough. The 700 you are paying the NSS is nothing to write home about. We're here where ghosts were being paid. The Zs were being paid money. Ghosts in the cemetery were paid. What's human beings that keeps moving to the office, paying for transport, paying for accommodation, do not get paid on time? Which kind of country is this? And which kind of leaders do we have? Sometimes I ask myself whether they are humans. Because if you are human, you should understand what your fellow human is going through. But here, the leaders we have, they are not humans. Sam, thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much. It's time for the news. Let's go for the news, and right after that, we'll be back. Please take and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the morning news update on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up this morning, government is set to roll out national standardized tests nationwide to tackle learning gaps. Ghana records 337,435 citizens with HIV as of 2025. In related news, Health Minister touted digital health at the launch of China West Africa Medical Summit 2026. Also coming up in the news, Speaker of Parliament cracks down on abuse of police escorts and sirens by members of Parliament. On the business front, Ghana's producer price inflation falls to 3.5%. We've got full details on these stories and many others coming up shortly in business, sports and entertainment. The Ministry of Education has announced far advanced plans to institutionalize the national standardized test across the country to strengthen foundational learning in basic schools. In an interview, the Minister of Education said the assessments will be administered to pupils in primary 2, 4, and 6. The test is designed to measure proficiency in literacy and numeracy before students sit for the basic education qualification certificate examination. The nationwide rollout will provide the Ministry of Education and the Education Service with real-time data to guide teacher training and resource deployment.
We will, as you notice, begin with learners in primary 2, and rather than testing different groups of people of each assessment circle, the same cohort of learners will be followed through, so from 2 to 4 to 6, so that we can measure the progress of that cohort over the years before they get to write BECA. We're planning to escalate and upscale the national standardized tests across the country, because we want valuable evidence to test foundational learning. You all saw the answers to the basic question, history class. Who was Ghana's first president, or Ghana's first president of the First Republic? They all got it right with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. But when it came to when Ghana gained her independence, maybe because of the tension of the minister present and the tension of all of you around, they struggled. Ghana needs to realign and reinvest in basic foundational learning. When the child gets literacy right, it measures the success of that child throughout the education ladder. So thank you very much.
The Ghana News Agency has released an updated national HIV estimate indicating that 337,435 people were living with HIV in Ghana as of 2025. The figure provides the latest snapshot of Ghana's HIV burden, expected to guide health planning and resource allocation for the coming year. Health officials revealed the estimate are based on surveillance data, testing and projections from the Ghana AIDS Commission and the Ministry of Health. While the total amount reflects new infections, authorities noted progress in treatment.
How many people are dying through HIV and AIDS related deaths? As at 2025, we have 1,580. No, the AIDS related deaths, the total number is 12,051. Young people, which we call 15 to 24 years, 33,370. Then adults, 242,638. And we have the graph for epidemiologists to look at all the age groups. In fact, once another, we have a report which contains everything. This is just a summary for presentation. As we speak, we also have what we call a fact sheet. You can get one. Nobody should be born with HIV and AIDS. And nobody should go out there and have sex or do any other thing to get HIV. That's why we measure new infections. As at 2025, new infections in Ghana is 13,951.
The Ministry of Health said the effective deployment of digital technology is key to improving access to quality healthcare at the community level across Ghana. A speech delivered on the behalf of the Minister of Health, Kwabena Mintakando, by the Chief Director of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Hafiz Adam, at the launch of the 3rd China West African Medical Summit and Expo 2026 in Accra, emphasized government's commitment to leveraging technology to bridge healthcare gaps. Mr. Akando noted that digital health solutions such as telemedicine, electronic health records, and mobile health platforms can reduce barriers to care, especially in rural and underserved communities. The Minister of Health described the China West African Medical Summit and Expo as a timely platform for knowledge exchange, investment, and partnership to advance healthcare delivery in the sub-region. Organizers said the third edition of the summit will focus on medical equipment, pharmaceuticals, digital health, and hospital management, with participation from Chinese and West African health companies and government delegations. Dr. Hafiz Adam urged stakeholders to forge collaborations that will strengthen Ghana's health system.
Distinguished guests, one of the flagship priorities of this government is the implementation of free primary health care, a bold policy designed to remove financial barriers to essential healthcare services while strengthening preventive, promotive healthcare at the community level. We believe that every Ghanaian, regardless of where you live or your economic status, you deserve access to quality primary health care, and to achieve this vision will require innovation, efficiency in the health system. And so you can't count less digital technology and stronger partnership such as what we are seeing today. Artificial intelligence presents enormous opportunity to the
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Caseford Bagben, has directed members of Parliament to immediately halt the misuse of police escorts and sirens. The directive was issued on the floor of Parliament during proceedings on Thursday, as the Speaker expressed concerns over a report of members of Parliament flouting traffic laws under the guise of official duty. Mr. Bagben stated that while security for members of Parliament is important, it must not be used as a license to violate road traffic rules. The Speaker called on the Ghana Police Service to ensure compliance without fear or favor. He further urged lawmakers to lead by example in respecting the laws of the country. The directive comes amid growing public complaint about the reckless use of sirens and convoys in traffic, particularly in Accra.
The Office of the Speaker has received a communication from the Honourable Minister for the Interior conveying a directive on the use of police resources, particularly police escort services, and the installation and use of sirens on vehicles. The communication requests that the directive be brought to the attention of honourable members of Parliament and the parliamentary service. Honourable members, according to the communication, Cabinet, in compliance with existing law, has requested, among other things, that no person shall install or use a siren on any official or private vehicle without the prior written authorization of the minister responsible for the interior. Similarly, no person is to utilize police resources, particularly police escort services, without the requisite written authorization of the minister for the interior or the Inspector General of Police acting on behalf of the minister. The communication further indicates that the Ghana Police Service has been directed to enforce the directive, including the removal and seizure of unauthorized sirens, the discontinuance of unauthorized police escort services, and the institution of appropriate legal action where necessary. The indiscriminate installation and use of sirens undermines road safety, weakens public confidence in lawful authority, and diminishes the effectiveness of emergency and security services whose operations genuinely require priority access. Accordingly, I encourage all members to take note of the contents of the directive and to ensure that in the use of police resources, police escort services, and sirens, members act at all times in accordance with the Constitution, the laws of Ghana, and all lawful administrative requirements. I encourage honorable members who may require clarification regarding the application of the directive in particular circumstances to seek the appropriate guidance through the established institutional channels for compliance in accordance with law. Honorable members, the office of the Speaker will continue to engage constructively with the executive, the Ghana Police Service, and all relevant state institutions on matters affecting security operations, the privileges of members of Parliament, and the independence of Parliament, always with a view to strengthening our democratic institutions and advancing the public interest.
Members of the New Patriotic Party in the Ashanti region have appealed to President John Dramani Mahama to grant a presidential pardon to their regional chair, Wontumi. The call was made at a press briefing where constituency executives declared their support for the embattled chairman. Speaking on behalf of the group, an Ashanti regional MPP executive lauded Wontumi's immense contribution of the party in the region and appeals for clemency while legal process runs its course.
Say BBC ebeba na yedi bibia be ma radio wo so because na pomo de ni bibia de be ma no so na me madwene yem say ka Yura John Mahama obehwe de bibia wo nanka Judge no ahwe say environment na wase no ye twabo bi amane say ontua na yemfa reclaim asase no ne ehu no ma bebrebe ankoba ne say ye ni nyina amanyame na I hope and pray say the lawyers no so no ebe appeal na with appeal no de be ebesi bia no ye be hu de be ye
Ashanti region your chairman for MPP court a sentence for 20 years. So what 20 years are? 20 years no dear me sure say wo kra no obi a wo ye wo tamfo kese ye kra. What is here the name of 20 years when you check. Chance utrimoting. Na we bomba say be we vetting no. Na Matthias Mfufro and say His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, met say, oh, what journey to me so, and Ghana, your mom ran so, say, Papano, to I am fan contribuno, Ajobre, yay, and come any Bejapa.
But say, Wontumi has been searched for nothing. Then is for more young to do a usual. My constituency, they were there just recently. Coco, Galamse, Amoye. So Galamse will be a to sort a usual or they say, excavators or Krumo. I don't think so. He deserved that. How much he has been such a almost kind leader as some said also. I don't know, 2 decades. We don't know what it is. First count to normal say abono. Yes, lawyers and they say yes, sanity. Intimately, who say political witch hunt.
Frankly speaking, it has not been easy on me. Me standing here, you can see that I'm shaking. It has not been easy on me. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any background concerning issue of lawyer and anything concerning of legal issues. So I just put that on hold. What we have is that our people are talking about it. We have leadership, those who know much. I think they will deal with the issue at the appropriate time. And the government should look at it again. We are all politicians and we are all human beings. We can err somewhere along the line. So they should also look at it at that point. And I know inshallah things are going to be well with him.
In business, Ghana's year-on-year producer price inflation slowed to 3.5% in June 2026 from 5.8% in May, driven largely by a sharp moderation in prices, within the mining and quarrying sector, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. The latest producer price index data also showed that producer prices declined by 3.7% on a month-on-month basis in June, marking the sharpest monthly fall recorded in recent months and signaling easing price pressures at the producer level. Releasing the June 2026 producer price index and producer inflation report, government statistician Dr. Hassan Idrisu said the latest figures point to a notable shift in the producer pricing trend. He noted that the annual producer inflation rate declined by 2.3 percentage points from the 5.8% recorded in May. According to Dr. Idrisu, the decline was largely driven by development in the mining and quarrying sector, which carries significant weight in the producer price index. Despite the overall moderation, several sectors continue to record elevated producer inflation, highlighting persistent cost pressures in parts of the economy. Manufacturing producer inflation accelerated from 0.8% in May to 3.5% in June. The electricity and gas sector recorded an annual producer inflation rate of 12.5%, while transport and storage registered 10%. Accommodation and food services also posted a 10.8% in inflation rate. Dr. Idrisu stressed that the easing in overall producer inflation does not suggest that price pressures have disappeared. He urged businesses to take advantage of the softer producer price to improve efficiency and better manage production costs. He also called on government to sustain macroeconomic stability while monitoring sectors where inflationary pressures remain elevated. For consumers, the government statistician cautioned that the moderation in producer inflation may not immediately translate into broad-based declines in retail prices. To sports, English referee Anthony Taylor has announced his retirement from officiating with immediate effect, bringing an end to a 20-year career that saw him take charge of 831 matches. The 47-year-old final match was Spain's 1-0 victory over Portugal in the 2026 FIFA World Cup of round of 16 on July 6. Taylor, who worked as a prison officer before becoming a full-time referee, joined the Football League list at the beginning of 2006-2007 season before earning promotion to the Premier League in 2010. During his time in the top flight, he officiated 432 Premier League matches and took charge of every major domestic final, including the FA Cup final, the League Cup final, and Community Shield. Explaining his decision to step away, Taylor said the demands of elite referee had influenced his decision. Born in the Wythenshawe, Taylor spent 14 years on FIFA's international referees list and handled 163 international matches. He was selected for the 2022 FIFA World Cup as well as the 2020 and 2024 European Championship, while also being considered as a possible referee for the 2022 World Cup final before being ruled out due to political tensions between England and Argentina. He became the first referee since 1901 to officiate 2 FA Cup finals when he was handled Arsenal 2-1 victory over Chelsea in 2020, having also refereed the 2017 final between the same teams. He also gained praise for his handling of the Euro 2020 match between Denmark and Finland, which was suspended after Christian Eriksen suffered a cardiac arrest during the game. On the European stage, Taylor officiated several major fixtures, including the 2020 UEFA Super Cup final, the 2021 National League final, and the 2023 Europa League final between Sevilla and Roma. following Roma's defeat to Sevilla in the 2023 Europa League final. Manager Jose Mourinho labelled him a disgrace, an incident that resulted in Mourinho receiving a 4-match ban. Taylor and his family were later subjected to abuse from angry supporters at the Budapest airport, an experience he described as one of the worst moments of his career. After 2 decades at the highest level, he now leaves refereeing, having overseen some of football's biggest matches in both domestic and international competitions. In showbiz, entertainer and boxer Bukom Banku says he rejected a huge cash of 200,000 Ghana cedis together with an iPhone dropped at his home by unidentified person. Speaking on a recent interview, the outspoken pugilist said an unidentified person showed up at his residence and left behind 200,000 Ghana cedis in cash together with an iPhone. According to Bukom Banku, he refused to accept the item, not knowing his motive behind the gesture. The former World Boxing Organization African Cruiserweight champion explained that while the amount was tempting, his principles would not allow him to keep money that came with no clear explanation. On global update, Italy is seeking to deepen investment into Ghana's cocoa sector with a proposal to establish a 3,000 hectares mechanized cocoa development zone as part of effort to expand local processing and value addition. The proposal was presented when the Italian ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Laura Renali, led a delegation of prospective investors from Buying Firm International, Italy's largest agricultural group with operations across Africa, to the Ghana Cocoa Board to explore strategic areas of cooperation. Addressing the management of Cocoa Board, Ambassador Renali said Italy is committed to building stronger partnerships with Ghana's cocoa sector through what he has dubbed the Cocoa Connect initiative. According to her, the initiative is designed to bring together public, private and scientific institutions to transform Ghana's cocoa industry from one centered on raw bean exports to one that produces semi-finished and finished chocolate products. The proposed 3,000 hectare mechanized cocoa development zone would serve as the foundation for technology-driven cocoa production and industrial processing. Responding to the proposal, the Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Dr. Ransford Abbey, welcomed the initiative and assured the delegation of the board's full institutional support. Dr. Abbey commended Buying Firm International decision to invest directly in Ghana's cocoa sector, describing the partnership as a significant opportunity to strengthen the country's position in the global cocoa value chain. He stressed that expanding local processing remains a key priority for Cocoa Board and the government. The proposed partnership is expected to combine Italy's expertise in agribusiness and technology with Ghana's position as one of the world's leading cocoa producers, with the aim of increasing local processing, creating jobs and enhancing the value of Ghana's cocoa exports. And that's a wrap on the morning news update. Thank you so much for sticking tuned to your radio. Do all to log on to all streaming platforms as well as logging on to our website at www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news stories. I am Deborah Adolso. Do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day
this is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Only on Ghana Talks Radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is your favorite online radio station you can carry along wherever you go in the world. All you need to do is just download the app on Google Play Store or Apple Store at Ghana Talks Radio and you are good to go. And if you want to watch us, all you need to do is just get yourself data and log on to on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are streaming live on Ghana Talks Radio TV, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do well to join us right here on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, right here on Ghana Talks Radio. Send in your comments. Let's get interactive right here on the show. I am your host, Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu, and I'll be serving you breakfast for the second time this morning on the second segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. And you know, I don't do it alone, but I come along with knowledgeable guests who are going to be delving into the issues. They are going to be sharing their informed perspectives on matters that matter to you every morning right here on the show. And this morning, I have sitting right there in the studios with me from the camp of the NPP and also from the camp of the NDC. And I bet you that is going to be very interesting right here in the studios. So make sure you do not miss that. You are still logged on right here on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. So this morning, I have Mr. Alex Jan, the NPP communications team, from the NPP communications team. And also, I have Honorable Eric Bate Amena, communicator as well. Good morning to you, gentlemen, and you're welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
I wanted to take my time to, pronounce your name so I don't bite my tongue. Yeah, the microphone is on. I wanted to take my time to pronounce your name so I don't bite my tongue. Mr. Bate Amena.
Amena, yeah.
Amena. From which region?
Greater Accra.
Greater Accra.
Daddy Kotopon constituency.
The Gang people. Call me people. Right, Miss Alex John.
Yes, dear.
How are you?
I'm fine. You?
Hope all is well.
Everything is fine.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You are looking good, by the way.
Thank you, God bless.
Oh, okay. Right. Police, can you hear me now? Is it better? All right, we are good to go. Yeah, welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. This morning, there we have a pack of issues we actually have to delve into. We have the issue of Chairman Wontumi being jailed 20 years. That's a lot. And we also heard from the minority challenging the conviction. And also we have punishing false news. Is it justice or the threat to free speech? These are the issues on board this morning. So at this juncture, I think we'll be delving straight into the first topic for discussion. Chairman Wontumi's sentence to 20 years for illegal mining. So the High Court in Accra has sentenced NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Aintree Boesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, to 20 years imprisonment on each of 2 counts in the Akonta mining illegal mining case, and the court ordered that the 20-year sentences run concurrently, meaning that he's not going to serve 40 years in prison, but rather 20 years in prison, since it's going to be running concurrently. And in addition, the court fined Chairman Wontumi 10,000 penalty units on each count, while Akonta Mining Limited was fined 15,000 penalty units on each of the 2 counts for which it was convicted. And Justice Andre Kokovite found that the prosecution had proved its case beyond reasonable doubt, and the court convicted Wontumi of unlawful assigning mineral rights without ministerial approval and purposefully facilitating illegal mining activities. The judge ruled that Akonta Mining allowed another miner to operate on its concession without the approval required by law, and rejected the defense arguments that the arrangement was only for land reclamation. The court also lifted the company's corporate veil, holding that Wontumi exercised direct control over the company's mining operations and could therefore be held personally responsible for the offences. And before delivering judgment, the court dismissed a last-minute application by the Defence Counsel to refer constitutional issues to the Supreme Court, ruling that the law was clear and required no further interpretation. Yes, so this is as to why Wontumi is 720 years in prison. We'll get into the minority bit, but let's focus on Wontumi now before we get into that. Mr. Alex,
yes,
what do you make of this judgment? Is it a sound one? Is it fair? Looking at the offences committed by Chairman Wontumi.
All right, thank you very much. Greeting to your listeners wherever they are. But I would like to ask, has he committed any offense? Really?
Oh, I just read the article or the judgment that he handed over a land to someone without ministerial approval to mine.
That is what you read from the books. But we are talking about the reality. All right. So that's why I would like to know, genuinely, has he committed any offense? All right. That is liable for prosecution and the 20 years imprisonment. Anyway, we live in a bad time, and I'll urge all my MVP, people to brace themselves up for much, harsher prosecution than this, because this is indeed what this current government has determined to do. And before I proceed, I would like to read a portion of the scripture.
A scripture?
Yes.
A Bible scripture?
A Bible scripture.
What does it say?
That says, I think Revelation chapter number 12.
Revelation 12. What is there?
Verse 10.
Verse 10.
And John the Revelator said, I heard a loud voice in the heavens saying, Rejoice, all ye heavens and the inhabitants, for the accuser of the brethren is cast down. He comes with fury. And in translation, I will tell all MPP people and Ghanaians that we are living here with the accuser who comes with serious anger.
And who is the accuser here?
I am not going to mention them, but you should know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know. That's why I'm asking questions. Who is the accuser here?
There's rumor going out everywhere that, this current arrest and prosecution, whoever is become a victim, is advised to call President Mahama and apologize. Why are we hearing that? Why is that going on? Is President Mahama the Chief Justice? Is President Mahama the one who sits on the panel and make judgments? Why people have been calling all accusers to call President Mahama and apologize?
Apologize for what exactly?
Apologize. A lot of people that have been sentenced, taking it from Nana Agrada's issue. We heard that she was called to apologize to President Mahama.
You heard?
It is a fact.
You are the first person I'm actually hearing from.
And you want to tell me that you have never heard anything about this?
No.
This is a public knowledge.
Mr. Pate,
I'm telling you, this is a public knowledge.
Hey, this is actually the first time I'm hearing that.
This is a public knowledge, and it is everywhere.
If it is everywhere, then please pull it out.
All right. So after Nana Grada was able to do that, her sentence was quashed, and now she's free.
After apologizing to the president. Do you have any video, any report on that? Yes,
I'll give you before I leave the studio.
Can you give it now so we enlighten our audience?
Okay, all right. Let me proceed, but I'll give you that.
Okay, please.
After we heard that this Northern lady who was recently sentenced, after her sentence, it was heard that she was asked to call President Mahama and apologize. Yesterday, I heard somebody saying something that I don't know whether it's true or not, but after Chama Untumi's sentence, Honorable MP for Efutu, which is Honorable Martin, and Canada Japan had a conversation with President Mahama to pardon Chama Wuntumi.
You heard. So it's a speculation.
We live in Ghana, and in Ghana here, don't treat rumors as something that is anything at all.
But right here we actually deal with facts. So if you are unable to prove it, then I don't think it's substance enough for our audience to consume.
Every little rumor you hear in Ghana, take it as fact. I'm telling you. Because any little rumor, there is an iota of truth.
So if I hear a rumor that you're a thief, I should believe that.
You can do your search, you can do your findings, and you will realize that there's a little truth about what you heard.
And that you're a thief.
And we can compare and contrast certain things that actually depicts a truth or fact about what we heard. You understand me? It looked as if Chema Wuntumi has been sentenced unjustifiably. For what crime? Simply because he was so hard on President Mahama. Simply because he was, people believe he insulted President Mahama. That's why he has been sentenced. He has been punished for this. But that is not justice. But you see, just as I started by telling you that Ghanaians should brace themselves up for harsher punishment coming, because the accuser of the brethren is here. But I'll ask you, the media, I'll ask the CFOs, I'll ask the traditional authorities, I'll ask our pastors, prophets, and whatever, whoever that matters, who has a voice, to speak out. Because if you look unconcerned about what is going on, the trend that is going on is something that we shouldn't allow it to proceed, because it is going to affect us as a nation. But if you decide not to talk about it simply because it is not me, or it has nothing to do with me, a time will come, it will be at your doorstep and nobody will be there for you. And let me quote a specific quotation from a German pastor. He said, at first, when they were doing it against the socialists, I did not speak a word because I thought I wasn't a socialist. When they came to the trade unionists, I did not speak a word because I thought I wasn't a socialist or a trade unionist. When they came to the Jews, I never uttered a word because I thought I wasn't a Jew. But later, I realized that it has come to my turn, and I realized nobody came to my defense. There you realize that when it is against your neighbor and you fold your arm thinking it is not at your doorstep, it matters. It is something that do not matter to you. A time will come, what they are doing to your neighbor, it will come to you. This is a word and an advice I'm giving to you, the media, and whoever listening to me now. It is time for us to raise our voice against the intimidation, against the harassment, against the unjustifiable prosecution that this government is unleashing on political opponents. What has Chairman Wontumi done? What crime has he committed? Is he the only person we have heard doing mining or unquote illegal mining? Is he not having a lawful concession? Is he not having a right to mine? Now let's go straight into the matter. Just as you read, and I've also gone, I've read through the judgment, and the prosecution. What was leveled against him was he has given a license to a third party to mine the concession without approval from the minister. Let me cite a scenario. One Saturday morning, I was in my room. I heard someone knocking, a neighbor knocking. When I opened, it was my neighbor, a closed door neighbor, asking me, "Can you give me your machete? I want to prune my mango." And I gave the machete to him. Later, about 30 minutes time, I heard sounds wailing and people were crying. When I came out and I asked, they told me that my neighbor who just came for my machete had killed his girlfriend or wife. Arrest was made. We were sent to court, and during the prosecution, I was convicted and was sentenced because my neighbor who came for my machete and I gave it to him simply because I was doing him good, stood against me. He stood as a witness against me in court. This is what we are experiencing now. Chairman Wontumi has genuinely given his right to somebody to go and do a reclamation, land reclamation, after the land has been mined already.
Those were the words of Chairman Wontumi. That he gave that land to the individual to go and reclaim the land. Whereas the individual is also saying that you are telling me to reclaim the land and you haven't given me funds. How then do I reclaim the land? And you and I know that reclaiming of lands is very expensive.
So someone has given you a right, whether you requested for or the person gave it to you, whatever means. Now you think you have been given a right to go and do something, you went to do otherwise. If you think he did not resource you enough to do the work that he asked you to do, why didn't you, or what stops you from requesting the support that you think you need to be able to carry out the job that he asked you to do? Instead, he went to do otherwise. All right. And when he was found culpable, he ganked with the accusers and the nation, and they sentenced Chairman Wontumi.
So are you saying that Chairman Wontumi didn't do anything wrong?
In my view, based on the judgment, I think he has been treated unfairly.
How
And-
has he been treated?
And
unfair?
this judgment is a prosecution against a political opponent. I am telling you, this judgment is not fair, and it is a prosecution against. It is not even prosecution, it is persecution. I'm using my word carefully. It is persecution against your political opponent. Of course, President Mahama was not in the court, he wasn't the judge, but indirectly, he was the judge, because he feels Chairman to me has disrespected him, and he will show you where power lies. You know, before this judgment, a lot of NDC fanatics have come to say, Chairman to me, no matter what, he can go to heaven and come. You will go to jail. Chairman there's no way he can escape jail sentence. What have they heard? It is something, this is something that it has already been prepared. People have sat down and they have prepared this, judgment before even they sit on the matter. So that I'm not surprised NDC members came earlier to give even what the outcome of this so-called judgment will be. And of course, nothing has changed. What they predicted, whether it was a prediction or whatever they say, whether it was true or not, this is the reality. Chairman Untumi has been sentenced. Why are we doing this to ourselves? President Mahama, Ghanaians are asking you, this is not what you promised us. When you were in opposition, you speak like an angel. But when you were given the power, it has turned a different thing else. Please, give us the briefing space. Because if you think indeed you are fighting against galamsey and illegal mining, right at your nose, your NDC fanatics, your NDC party executives are mining here and there like there's no tomorrow, like nobody owns the lands of our nation. And they are mining with impunity. They are emboldened by the support of this government to mine, not necessarily thinking the environmental degradation, not necessarily thinking about the effect of what they are doing, simply because they think they are in power now. They have all the security at their back. They have the president approval. Why are we doing this to ourselves? If President Mahama claims he's fighting against illegal mining, he should start prosecuting his own people. I would like to mention Joseph Yamin, because and Abanga, who is also a second vice chairman to NDC, whom Attorney General has written a letter to Yoko to investigate illegal mining, crime against these people that I've mentioned. I have read the letter, and indeed, 1 year down the lane, the letter was submitted to Yoko's office. What is Yoko doing about it? 1 year down the lane, Yoko has been going around like a rolling lion, arresting people, without taking the law into consideration. If indeed Yoko is doing the work as it's supposed to do, what is he doing about the letter that was written to him by the Attorney General, that he is directing the Attorney General to look into the matter or the allegation leveled against Joseph Yami and Abanga for doing illegal mining? What has he done about it?
Right. Mr. Alex Jan, I'll be back to you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Pate, what do you make of Wontumi's judgment?
All right, so before that, good morning to our incoming national chairman, my boss, Honorable Nilanti Vanderpoy, and then good morning to our incoming Deputy National Communications Officer, Irua Karim Adams. They are all doing a listening of the show. First of all, can you kindly read the judgment again? He was saying something I'm very surprised of. Saying I'm coming.
So Chairman Wontumi has been sentenced to 20 years imprisonment with hard labor by an Accra High Court after being found guilty of illegally permitting unlicensed mining operations on his company's concession at Semerbro in the Western region.
Okay, that's fine. And then he says what? It is not an offense. All right. So This is it. Under section 14, subsection 1 of the Minerals and Mining Act, Act 703 of Ghana. Now, it is an offense to transfer, assign, or hand over mineral rights without prior written approval of the minister. So, is it an offense or not? Per what I have read, is it an offense or not? So, Chamaun to me has simply committed an offense. And then you see, when you watch the proceedings very well, you could see they themselves with his lawyer and then the witnesses they brought, they couldn't prove the prosecutors wrong.
Yeah, it went unchallenged.
Yes. So what will happen? And then if you are talking about the 20 years, okay, first of all, before I talk about the 20 years, I want to clarify this. Was Chamaun to me arrested for making derogatory comments against President Mahama?
No. Please.
No. So people going around, and then him himself saying that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is part of the reasons why he has been convicted is absolutely wrong. Because I remember during their time, the former president Nana Akufo-Addo went to BBC with an interview saying the institutions in Ghana work independently. So why is it that with this particular judgment you want to involve the president? And then now Agrada never begged President Mahama for her sentences to be reduced. No, the fact was that even the jury understood that the sentence was harsh, because one, even the accusers, the people who accused Nana Agrada couldn't prove, like just what just happened with Chamaun to me. Yes, they couldn't prove that really this is what Nana Agrada did to us. So the judgment was too harsh. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama had no hand in the release of Nana Agrada. Never. Now, back to the 20 years. If even the 20 years, if it's even small, because per the law, it's supposed to be 15 to 25 years.
Maximum.
Yes. 25. So even the judge saw that, okay, this Chamaun to me is somebody's father, somebody's husband. He has businesses. He has so many dependents. So, okay, let me give him 20 years. So the 20 years is even small. Now, go and read Chatuti Kata versus the state, and then you would even see that this is even small. Look, Chatuti Kata was arrested when he was in church, live in church. Even the pastor begged them to wait for the service to end before they took him. And then you see, even Chamaun to me's lawyer was available. Chamaun to me's lawyer wasn't only Atachia. You saw his lawyer. Yes, he was available.
But at that point, Atachia was the lead counsel for this particular case.
You see, Chatuti Kata, on the day of his judgment, his lawyer wasn't present. So even we NDC, we follow due process. So you see, Chatuti Kata versus the state. I think it didn't even take 1 month. Right from the church, I think 2 weeks time on they jailed him without even his lawyer. But we have followed due process. They even tried delaying the judgment, but because I think after this month the judiciary is going to long vacation. Yes. So we have even followed due process. Now, sorry, I'm coming. I want to show you something. Now, the people of Samaboy are very, very happy. Why? Because the person who was destroying their land, you saw what happened when it rained heavily.
Yeah.
You saw what happened at Samaboy.
Yeah.
It was as a result of the illegal mining. Even first of all, Abu Jinapo informed them during their time that Chamaun to me is doing a dangerous illegal mining, which would have strong effects in the future. They didn't mine him. And then today, this is the result. Look at what happened at Samaboy. And then you sit here and then you see, I like the way he was quoting the Bible. That is what they are fond of doing. You could remember the former finance minister. Yes, anytime you come to parliament to read the budget on white, and then we'll be quoting memory verses here and there. But I don't want to say the most incompetent finance minister we have ever had in our time. So with the issue of Chamaun, to me, the 20 years is okay. For me, to be frank, I would wish maybe he would have even been given the 15 years so he could come back, but pay his crimes. And can you read the count 2?
The count 2. So per what I have here, so Wontumi and Akontamani were arraigned on October 7, 2025 on 4 counts. 2 counts of assignment of mineral rights without ministerial approval, contrary to section 14(1) and 19(9)(2)(b) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 at 703 as amended, and 2 counts of purposely facilitated an unlicensed mining operation contrary to section 99(2)(b) of the same act.
Which means the person he even assigned the mining concession to wasn't a registered or licensed miner. So when you do all this and then you are being sentenced to 20 years, and then your communicators and then your fanatics go around talking for you. I mean, I was listening to their third vice chairman or so, Chairman Muga, and then you could see these people have no shame when it comes to crime. Look, when Abu Jinapo said that Akunta mining is engaging in illegal mining, now Kufuor live on TV, he told us that Akunta mining,
video that Akunta mining
is not
involved in
to the extent that they went to parliament and then brought an ally. That ally was enabling people to do what? Mine at forest reserves and then water bodies, destroying our water reserves. And then you sit here and then say what? You are involved, you are making let me say a derogatory comment that is it Joseph Yami and then Abanga also are doing what? Do you have evidence? No. One, the Attorney General wrote that letter to Iyoko because they also don't have evidence. They had. And that was why our Deputy General Secretary, Mustafa Bandi, told them he knows Joseph Yamin very well. And then I even know him. He for him, per se, he doesn't even have a mining concession. He doesn't have any mining license also. They are not engaging.
But how would you know if he's doing that without your knowledge?
That is why I'm saying I per se, I know him very, very well. If he is doing that, bring evidence. That is it. Now, you are saying Iyoko for a year now, they have not done any investigations. How would you know? You see, Miracle. Miracles went on every radio station and then TV saying Oral is just a campaign, whatever, and then it's not going to work. But when Oral got to him, he started crying. So you could see Iyoko have been making that investigation long time. And then for your information, this particular Chamaun to me issue, do you know when the investigation started? In 2021.
I thought it started in 2022.
In 2021. So they even started investigating their own man. So it is not that President Mahama has something to do with. If like Chamaun to me was arrested for making derogatory comments against the president, fine. But this is a mining issue and a different issue altogether. That is it.
Right, Mr. Alex Jan.
Yes,
so this particular whole of Wuntumi's issue started way back in 2022 after the then Lands Minister mentioned that Akunta mining is involved in illegal mining. What action did you take as a party to rectify, to find out if it was true? Is there any action you took?
All right, thank you very much once again. Did the then minister, did he actually say Akunta mining was engaging in illegal mining?
Yes, he did.
what is illegal mining? Meaning he has no license to engage in mining. But per the court proceedings, now it is proving that he has a legitimate license.
Per the court proceedings, but per what I have just read here, it says that Wontumi is being found guilty of illegally permitting unlicensed mining operations on his company's concession in the Western region. So that should tell you that he didn't have a license either.
Is it not the same court that is also talking about he giving his license that was given to him by the minister to a third party to engage in mining, and that is against the Mining Act? That is what the judgment is also saying. So what is the contradiction here? If you claim he has given his license, genuine license that was given to him by the minister to a third party, which he should have sought approval from the minister then before he hands over that right to a third party, and because of that he's found guilty. So now why are you saying he's engaging in illegal mining? If it is engaging in illegal mining, that means he has no concession, he has no right to engage in mining because he has no license. But this license contention we're talking about is what now you are finding him guilty of giving it to a third party. So what are we talking about now? Do you understand me? What are we talking about? In any case, I have my rightful license to engage in mining. I have given it to somebody else. The person has gone to do otherwise. Even when someone Chamawuntu and Akonta Mining gave the license to Henry Okun, what he was asked to do on the concession, he did otherwise. The one who committed the crime has now been set free, and the one is like the one who aided is now being sentenced. What kind of judgment is this? Someone has committed murder, and you have set the person who committed the murder free. I, being the innocent person who came to ask for maybe a machete under the pretense of he's going to prune his mango, just as I said the analogy. I hope you understand me. So I gave him that help simply because he also said want to work, and I told him go and do land reclamation. All right, he went to do otherwise. Why did the court not find that person guilty, but instead of the one that gave the license to him unlawfully? Of course I understand that, but why was that person set free? That is why we believe that this is a political persecution, not
right.
prosecution.
You just said that you understand that you understand that Wontumi gave the approval to someone else to mine on the land without ministerial approval, and that is why he's been convicted.
Yes.
So why then are we hearing from the minority that he's termed as a political prison when you know vividly that that is a crime?
Why was the third party set free? Why was Henry Okun, who indeed engaged in the illegal mining, and the court has clarified that, why was that person set free? Was it because he witnessed for the government or he witnessed for the
he
prosecutor?
Was tried in absentia. That tells you that he wasn't even present in court.
So is it right? Because per my knowledge, somebody, just as he was tried in absentia, so what was his judgment? He was just fined, isn't it? I think at 10,000 Ghana cedis.
10,000 units.
Yes, and that is his punishment. Meanwhile, he engaged in the act. I don't understand this. We, the MPP, the minority, and of course the Ghanaians who believe that indeed this judgment is not fair. We believe that something has gone wrong, and this only amount to political persecution. Because indeed, if you are being fair, both of us have committed crime. Why do you set the other person free and sentence me? For what reason? Is it because I'm against you, or you are against me because I am your opponent? Is it because the other guy is not a politician but
the
is a
court
politician?
says that Wontumi facilitated the act. How do you understand facilitate?
There is something in our criminal code which is called aiding and abetting. So probably you could say, he aided, that crime. So the one who aided the crime has been sentenced, but the one who actually committed the crime has been asked to go free. I mean, then let's think about this. I don't know why you are not trying to understand this scenario. The one who aided, and it simply means Chama Untimi aided the guy to do the illegal mining. All right. And the one who engaged in the actual act, in the actual crime, has been asked to go. But the one who just aided, gave a helping hand, has been sentenced 20 years imprisonment. What kind of judgment, unfair judgment and treatment is this? I insist, and we the minority or the MPP, we believe that this judgment is so harsh, and Chairman to me has been treated unfairly. If indeed it is about fighting against illegal mining, let me tell you something. You know Kenneth Ashigwe? I hope you know him.
Yeah.
A convener for
Media Coalition of Illegal Mining.
What was his influence regard to this judgment?
He petitioned against it.
He petitioned
and
against
even way back, even before the court proceedings even started.
So have you heard, rumors? I always use rumor. Or have you heard? He is now. Even I'll not even say it's a rumor because I read something that he released a statement last Tuesday, and I read it that people are saying he has something to do with the judgment. And the reason why people believe that he has something to do with the judgment is because the trial judge, Justice
Mr. Alex.
Oh no!
Please don't go there.
Why would I go there? I am just,
because as it stands now, you can't even prove if that man is actually a relative. So does that mean that Martin Kpebu is also a relative of the judge?
I am talking about
Martin Kpebu equally also petitioned against Akonta Mining, same as we had other CEOs, other CSOs also petition against it. Does that mean that all these people had
you didn't even allow me to finish my statement.
Yes, I wouldn't allow you to finish your statement because per what you are saying is just a rumor. As it stands,
it is not even a rumor. I can prove it to you.
You do have the fact that this man is. Have you conducted
the man has issued a statement?
No, but he has denied it.
They are linking him to the
he has
judge.
Denied. I've seen what you are talking about, and I've read the article.
People are saying reading.
He has denied it. So at this point, do you have any DNA test that could signify that he's related to the judge?
People are reading conflict of interest in this case.
But one question that I'm asking is that, do you have any blood test that actually shows that this
But the man said in his statement that, of course, he is the lead, the trial judge is a sister-in-law to him.
He said it himself.
I can give you the statement that he issued.
And you think that he influenced the judgment of Chairman Wunti?
But I am not saying he influenced, but people believe that there is a conflict of interest because he petitioned against Chairman Wunti, and now the trial judge has a relation with the petitioner.
But
would there be a conflict of interest?
Is he the only person that petitioned against Wunti?
We are Martin Kpebu and some other people,
of course.
But now we are talking about this man. What is his name? We are talking about. Give me the name again, I have even forgotten. Kenashigbe. We are talking about him now, and now the fact is that he has a relation with the trial judge, which he stated in his release that the woman is actually his sister-in-law. And for that matter, people are saying that if there's something of that sort, then there could be a conflict of interest. He could also influence the judgment. Because if you are my sister-in-law, I petition you, why won't I have influence? I mean, to tell you that at least you can do something out for me. You see, when after the judgment, this man came to say, of course, the man has been treated, with leniency. He should have been given 25 years.
Let me read something to you. A person who, without a license granted by the minister, undertakes a mining operation, contrary to a provision of this act of or instigates, commands, cancels, procures, solicits, or in any manner purposely aids, facilitates, encourages, or promotes any act in contravention of a provision of this act, in respect of which a penalty which has not been specified, or contracts a non-Ghanaian to provide mining support services, commits an offence and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 10,000 penalty units and not more than 15,000 penalty units, and to term of imprisonment of not less than 15 years and not more than 25 years. So if this is the judgment that the judge has given to Chairman Wontumi based on this Minerals Mining Act that I've just read to you, what is the influence that Kenneth Ashigbe has actually given to this judgment?
Let me provide you with an evidence, to substantiate my claim. Ken Ashigbe denies claim of influencing Wontumi's conviction. CityNewsroom.com.
Yeah.
I read the relevant portion. Convener of Media Coalition against Galamsey, Ken Ashigbe, has dismissed as false claims circulating on social media, alleging that he influenced the conviction of the New Patriotic Party (NPP) Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Aitribo Siakon, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. In a statement issued on Tuesday, July 21st, Mr. Ashigbe denied ever claiming that he knew Chairman Wontumi would be jailed because the trial judge was his sister-in-law. I hope he heard it.
I heard that. Okay. So what influence does he have? Reading from the Mineral Mining Act I've just read to you, that says that anybody who is actually caught in such a situation should be in prison not less than 15 years, not more than 25 years. And I believe that is actually the judgment that was given. So how then does Kenneth Ashigbe influence the judgment of Chairman Wontumi? If all the evidence is glaring in the face that indeed he gave the mining proceedings out without ministerial approval, then what else? My question is it backed by law or not?
Did the court never find any illegal action or any crime against the one who engaged in the acts, Henry Okun? Why was he not sentenced?
There was something they called circumstantial evidence. So the court found that no ministerial approval had ever been sought or obtained for the mining activity. A fact Wontumi did not dispute. He never challenged that. And that should tell you that he has automatically admitted that indeed he did without ministerial offense, without ministerial approval, and that alone is an offense. On the central question of what Okun was actually permitted to do, the court relied on circumstantial evidence, noting that Okun was an experienced small-scale miner with no background in land reclamation. That reclamation is costly, yet Wontumi gave him no funds for it, and that Okun was left to fund the exercise from gold he mined on the concession, a fact Wontumi never challenged in cross-examination. What do you say to that?
So in case it happened that Chairman Wontumi never had a license to mine, what would have happened? What would have happened in case he never obtained any license at all? He just went to the forest and started degrading the environment, destroying everything without any license, simply because his government was in power. What would they have done to him?
Let me hear from you, Mr. Yeah, I think you'd be the right person to debate that.
Yeah, so the question is just asked. Let me answer him on that. That if Chairman Wontumi never had a license. So the answer is very simple. That one too would come with
its own punishment.
That is it. It's a very simple answer. Because, so you see the funniest part is, you know who amended the laws that has been used now?
It was their own people.
It was their own people.
In 2019.
Yes. So why are they complaining? That's what I don't understand. Why are they complaining? You amended the law. You amended the law to punish us rather. Now it is hitting back at you. That is why in Tree they say yes. So you amended the law and then now you are here saying what? You see, in 2019. So specifically under Act 995, in individuals convicted of illegal mining or facilitating unlicensed operations. So one, the truth is, Chama to me had license to mine, but then the crime here is that he assigned the mining concession to an unlicensed miner without the minister's approval. Yes, that is what I want him to understand. That is his crime. That is it.
I admit that. I admit it perfectly. But what I don't understand is that you claim I've committed an offense for giving my license to somebody to mine without taking the minister's approval. But why do you tell me that the one who indeed took the license and went to the forest and started doing something you claim it is an illegal, you tell the person go? You have not committed any crime.
So for me, I believe if there are laws that is binding that,
it is never true. It is because he stood against Chamawu to me and he witnessed.
I don't think that was he in court. Was that guy ever in court? I never
Which
saw
is
him. Henry Okum.
Henry Okum.
Because I never saw him.
That.
I thought he was tried in absentia also. Yeah. I never saw him in court. So why are you saying it is because he stood against Chamaun to me, or he came out as a prosecutor's witness? So they are pardoning him. No, I am sure if there are laws binding that, he would be taken on. And then you read something. I'm very interested in that. I think he was freed because is it land reclamation, whatever. And that is true, and it is even logical. Because why do you give your concession to someone to reclaim a land without funding the person? Which money do you want the person to use to do the land reclamation? Just some few weeks ago, EPA, Environmental Protection Authority, they are about to start land reclamation. Did you listen to the amount they were mentioning? So you could see even a whole authority, a state agency, is finding it difficult to. And then you want an individual to do what? To gather such. I mean, it is abnormal.
Right.
Yes.
So what? There's this statement that the minority keep making, which is political prisoner. What do you mean by that? That one to me is a political prisoner.
But if he's not a political prisoner, what term do you want to give it? Looking at the circumstances surrounding his judgment.
So that tells that in your books or in the camp of the minority, Wuntumi has not committed any crime.
You see, in my view, if anybody has committed any crime against the nation, that person should be held culpable.
Of course.
All right. But this selective justice is what we are talking about. Of course, nobody is about the law.
How is it a selective justice?
And the selective justice I'm talking about is what I have given you an evidence that the one who committed the crime has been set free.
And then we are saying
this is purely selective justice.
So we are saying if there are laws binding that, he would be taken on. And then if you are saying political prisoner, now since 1992 till date, these are the number of people that the NPP have convicted. Now, Kwame Pepra, what did he do? Chatuti Kata, what did he do? Victor Selome, what did he do? The only person that I feel truly she committed a crime was Sedina Tamaklu for funds misappropriation and then financial crimes. As for that one, truly. And because she was even tried.
No, we interjected him as well.
Okay. Because she was even tried in absentia, but they still found evidences to that. Aside that, Tatutikata never committed any crime. Kwame Pepra, Victor Selome.
Right.
Oh, really?
About 11 people.
Really?
And then we have just convicted one person. And then you are complaining.
And that is inability on your part. Chamawun to me has been sentenced, or he has been sacrificed just to appease the aggrieved NDC supporters. who are on the neck, who are on the neck of this government.
No, wait.
Let me finish.
All right.
The reason why I'm saying Chama Wuntumi has been sacrificed to appease the aggrieved NDC members who are claiming that their government is ineffective when it comes to prosecution, because during their Mahama first time, the 8 years, they could not sentence any single NPP member to prison. But now he's enumerating number of people that before time they were sentenced, and these people purely committed a crime, causing financial loss to the state.
Okay, but Mr. Alex, let's get this clear. Wuntumi himself in court admitted that he gave the land to a third party without ministerial approval.
Of course.
And that alone is a crime.
But
that is what I want us to, like get.
I admit that perfectly.
Yeah, but you keep making statements that he's being used as a scapegoat or
a political prisoner
to appease the as you mentioned a word of which I really can't get hold of. That is what you are saying. But we have to get it that Wuntumi himself, he has admitted in court.
Yes.
He did not even dispute that.
I said he had been used as sacrifice to appease the aggrieved.
How is he a sacrifice?
The reason why some of us believe that, or having that notion is that, or the perception is that, two people have committed crime. Two of us were taken to court. All right, and you see, look at the situation. The one who is indeed committed the crime, the person who hit the head of the disease and the person died.
Right.
You said the person has not committed a crime, but the one who gave the maybe a club or hammer to hit the diseased head, that person should be jailed.
Right, let's get
this is a scenario we are creating.
Let's get why Henry Okum hasn't been jailed. Henry Okum was not jailed alongside Bernard Besuako. Instead, he took advantage of Ghana's plea bargain laws, enabling him to avoid a prison sentence. Because Henry Oku and his associate Michael AC cooperated with the state, the legal outcome of their involvement concluded through the following measures, which states that legal experts noted that the state viewed Okum and AC as the underlines in the operation, while Chairman Wuntumi pursued as the primary kingpin. Okum was used as a key prosecution witness, providing crucial testimony against the unfunded reclamation arrangements that ultimately led to Wuntumi's conviction. And rather than facing the standard 15 to 25-year maximum prison sentence under the amended Minerals and Mining Act, Mr. Okum utilized the plea bargain framework. So as part of the plea arrangement to secure his freedom, he had to forfeit critical assets and equipment to the state. So that is why he has not been jailed.
As simple
Do you
as
get
that.
it now?
But some of Chairman Wuntumi, Akonta mining's equipment have been confiscated.
As for that one,
I'm coming. Let me finish. Let me quote a statement or a key word you read from whatever you read. He said the judgment says Okum cooperated with the courts, but did Chairman Wuntumi never visit the court throughout the judgment? The judge said Chairman Wuntumi never cooperated. Chairman Wuntumi has ever since been present anytime the court sits. But even this guy was tried in absentia, as we all know. So when it talk of cooperation, who ever cooperated with the court?
According to reports, the reason why the judge gave Wuntumi 20 years but not 25 years was because she said that he cooperated and made sure that he was present at court all the time, and he was a first-time offender. That is why they gave him 20 years and not 25
and you claim this is leniency?
That is leniency.
A first-time offender,
yes,
but
someone who cooperated, someone who was never tried in absentia. He has every day been present. I mean, what?
Okay,
so what would you have the judge given to Wuntumi right now?
If this judgment should have been fair, at least 5 years.
But yourself, your party re-amended this and
law.
you said 15 years for minimum and 25 years for maximum.
Okay, Pedro.
So if the woman, or let me say the judge, goes contrary to that, wouldn't we also go for her as well, that she didn't go according to the law?
Without having knowledge of the law.
So now you have a knowledge of the law.
The minimum sentence is 15 years, and the maximum is 25 years. So why didn't you consider giving him 15 years?
So you can appeal for that. So you can go to court.
So I think we are not going for the appeal for him to reduce the sentence. We are going for appeal for fair judgment.
Which of the judgment again should be fair?
Well, interesting days ahead.
And
yesterday hearing was
prosecution, and it is not.
So even before that, you were saying that Yokum should also be jailed. Now you made a very good scenario, and then I'll use that as well. You gave a cutlass to someone to go and do what?
Prune his mango tree.
Okay, and then he used it otherwise, right? Yeah. So let's say you didn't give him the cutlass. What would have happened?
Oh, but
so let's say Chamaun to me never gave the license or the land to
he deceived me.
Henry Okum go there by force to, even when Henry Okum does that, Chamaun to me has the right to do what? To sue him. But you gave it willingly.
However,
so why do you want Henry Okum? So why do you want Henry Okum to be prosecuted?
You the media, why don't you also talk about NDC people who are now engaging in illegal mining? Now,
you see one investigative journalist, Erasmus, also get into that. So definitely, and your party is also calling for the Attorney General to move into those cases. So I believe that in the coming days, definitely,
and then you people are even fighting the tribunal courts. if the tribunal starts working, we will have more people prosecuted quickly. Now the courts are not many. You are aware.
Me, I'm not even against the tribunal court. And if the tribunal court start working, you see and the government is being fair, and the court is also being fair. You see the number of people, your NDC people that will go to court, now go to jail because now you are mining everywhere simply because now they
I've always said that Ghana first before my party.
That is exactly what we're supposed to do.
Ghana was there before NDC was created, 32 or 36 years ago. So I always say Ghana first. You see, with our members that you are claiming are doing illegal mining, I've always said to them or to everyone, if you are being found culpable, you will be dealt with.
You'll be dealt with.
Look, it seems you don't know His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Look, my own constituency secretary, who is currently the CEO for Ghana Digital Centers Limited, Honorable Jifaguno, he even told us one time that he was working with His Excellency John Dramani in his office in opposition. So he knows that man very, very well. He even told us that oral operation recover all loot is not a joke. And then anybody found culpable, even with us, that was one reason why the Attorney General fought for all state prosecutions to be allocated to him, so that the OSP would be scrapped. Because we are all aware, or let me say for me, I am aware the OSP is also playing his part for the other people. Me, I am aware. That is why the Attorney General wants to be in charge of all state prosecutions, even prosecuting his own people. So I am telling you on record, that if any of our members are found culpable of illegal mining, they will be prosecuted and then will be jailed.
You don't need any evidence from anywhere.
Right, Mr. Alex, can you hold on now? I'll come to you. What does Wontumi's conviction actually mean for us against the fight for illegal mining?
It is going to deter more people engaged.
Is this enough deterrence? So that should tell us that if we should go to this mining site, we are not going to see any miner in the pit.
So you see, we going after the people mining rather is very wrong. We need to go after the kingpins. Those who are weaponizing the people to mine illegally. Those are the people we are to go after. And then I know, and then even His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has said it, that the kingpins of the illegal mining are both NPP and then NDC. So even he knows. So I would urge anybody, whether the opposition party or mine party, if you are engaging in illegal mining, put a stop to it. That is it. And then you see, that is why our ComsDev, I don't know if you know, the one they were going to launch at the Obuasi area, and then the helicopter crash happened. That particular program is helping small scale miners to mine legally. So it is either you, and then I have seen some people are also taking advantage and then mining illegally, using our ComsDev's poster to mine illegally at some areas. When you are being caught, you will be dealt with.
So breaking news. Chamawuntumi has arrived at the Accra High Court under the escort of prison officers. Chamawuntumi, Akunta Mining, Kwame Ntwi, and Owusu Bempa are standing trial over alleged illegal mining activities in the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve in the Western region.
Yes.
So he's in court today. Today, as I'm speaking to you right now.
So his cases are about 3.
So
the Exim Bank case
to me is pregnant with a lot of cases.
Yes.
But you know,
and then in all two, he's going to be convicted.
This is just a charge.
You think so?
This
he's
is
going
just
to be
a charge against him. I've not gone into the nitty-gritty of
so
the
it's
matter.
alleged.
See, let me say something. You asked him a question.
Which is
that is this judgment deterrent enough? And he said yes. Of course, it's deterrent, but if it will serve as indeed, it will serve the intent that this judgment was given, it will be better if this government start prosecuting its own members. Because if you prosecute your political opponent thinking it is a deterrent, leaving your members who are now doing it, who have been emboldened simply because they believe their government is in power and are doing it, and you don't prosecute them, then we are not doing anything.
Right,
because
so
I will do that with impunity, because I believe my government is on my side. The state apparatus will shield me. All right, so in as much as you want to fight, or you are prosecuting the opponent, your political opponent, prosecute your members, and that will give them a serious deterrent, and they will also stop, because they will conclude that if my government is prosecuting me, then I need to stay guard.
Right, so the minority will be at peace if we see the government going after its own people involved in illegal mining.
Of course.
But I am surprised. I am surprised why.
Mr. Pate, I will be back.
That will be fair, and that's the fairness we are all asking that it should prevail, because this is purely selective justice. If you take your opponent to court and jail them while you leave your members and your political party members doing it, then you are not being fair and you are not using the law fairly.
So if you should appeal, what would you appeal for?
We are appealing that Chamawuntumi sentence should be quashed.
Should be quashed?
Yes, because he does not deserve that.
He should be quashed because he does not deserve that, or he should be quashed because it's not a crime to involve a third party and to hand over a mining operation to a third party without ministerial approval.
By the law, they say it is a crime.
Of course, it is a crime. It's not. It's not. They said it is actually a crime.
By the law,
I've read it to you.
Okay, by the law, I admit it is a crime.
It is a crime. So, in as much as we've seen that it is a crime, we should let him go.
Laws were made for man, not man for laws.
Meaning
that when you look at the crime that you claim he has committed, and you think this kind of sentence is good enough, then it's between you and your God. Why do you leave the main person who did the crime and sentence the one who aided? And that is my worry, and that is my problem. So I want you to understand that, and I want you to admit that. That's why I quoted that German pastor.
Don't you think that it could be that your lawyers also did you wrong?
Oh, but as lawyer Tachia, I hope you know about lawyer Tachia. You know how competent he is. What else can you do? If the state and the whole apparatus is against you, this is what it has been determined. If I'm not afraid, I will say this judgment was predetermined even before the case, they started sitting on the case. So the reason why I'm saying this,
don't you think that is what Apia Kubi was actually foresaw? That is why he had to leave the case.
Probably Because the way the NDC people were coming out with a whole lot of things as if they know the outcome of the case.
Of course, they've read the laws.
No, let me tell you, you've read the laws. You know that for this case, it is punishable.
Of course.
Of course. You can do that prediction. But some of them went to the extent of giving jail sentence term. I don't know whether you've heard it.
Just like the way you have it in football, you give your predictions. So they were also giving your predictions.
Now I was surprised at your disposition today.
So you see, the truth and the fact is, for me, and then other friends of MPP, and then even in the NDC, the moment Chama to me himself admitted it, we saw that then that particular case that was the reason why Apia could be left the case. The moment he admitted,
the man
that is it.
He did not say
yes,
but he said I am guilty.
Okay, so when you even
so it's a straightforward something.
But this admission is enough. Is something that should have given that.
When it is a crime, Mr. Jan, when it is a crime and you've admitted that it is a crime, I should let you go scotch free and go and do it again.
I'm not saying that. The admission enough was something that the judge should have look at it and pardon him.
No, but if the judge should have pardoned him as well, we'll be the same person to go after him. And our judicial system is being politically motivated. Look at this man. According to the law, he was supposed to be sentenced by 25 years, but we don't even know what came over the judge. And now the judge is also going according to what is in the law, and you're still complaining.
This prosecution fuel that perception that our judicial system is being influenced by the politicians.
I know you're trying so hard to defend him. To me.
No, you see the truth and the fact is, nobody. You made mention of who Ken Ashigbe.
Yeah.
How can you, the judge, be my sister-in-law, and then I'll come and tell you how to do your work?
How to do your work? That's incompetence on another level.
How? Even if Ken is supposed to hear this thing, he's going to tell you that so I'm also going to sue you for defamatory comments.
But he has issued a statement. That's the statement I read.
So if I go out and then say your name Esinam, you are the judge for that Wuntumi's case, and then I go out and I say Esinam is my sister-in-law. So what? So what? If Esinam is your sister, so what?
So you can influence that.
How?
The judge could even find herself in trouble.
In trouble? How?
As a competent judge, we are supposed to do what is right.
You see, I am surprised why they are even more interested in the Attorney General prosecuting its own members. Look, this is Abu Gapele. Do you know Abu Gapele?
Yeah.
Abu Gapele was arrested in 2018. Do you know who initiated that? His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Ni Osamios was also arrested. It was the same His Excellency John Dramani Mahama who initiated that. So, in terms of prosecuting our own members, for us, we are fond of doing that, and then we know how to do that better. But ask them, were they able to prosecute their own people when they were in power?
Yeah. So, what is likely to happen if they should go for an appeal?
All right, I am not the judge, and so I wouldn't be. Well. Yes, I wouldn't be able to.
But do you think that if they should go for an appeal, it's going to work out?
It's not going to work out because
hearing from Surumsai, he said, it's unlikely it will happen. But he's not going to happen. He's not the one that gives the final say.
Yes, but and then first of all, kudos to the two people, the Attorney General and then the Deputy Surumsai and then Honorable Dominic Anyini. They have done a very good job, and then I like the fact that the people of Samaboy are happy, and then I am also happy. Why? Because we made a promise to the people of Ghana, the good people of Ghana, that oral is going to work, and then we are actually going to retrieve all the monies that were looted by the former public officials. Yeah.
You wanted to say something. That will be your last words. Then we proceed to the next topic.
Okay. Finally, he said Sunsai is out there saying,
he was granted an
no
interview
matter the appeal
yesterday
they
on
do,
TV3.
it is not going to work.
Yeah, he mentioned that it's unlikely. That is his opinion. But let's see what the court of
and that is why
says.
People also have the opinion that this judgment was predetermined. was arranged even before the case, started. Because if the attorney general is here saying this, he is also saying it, to confirm what the NDC people came earlier saying that, Wontumi will be jailed.
And I was
And
saying
of course,
that
they
it's
have
because
determined,
they know the
because
law.
this government
It's
had
because they know
determined,
the law.
because this government had determined that no matter what, Wontumi must be jailed and will be jailed. That is why that is enforcing the attorney general also to say that, and he's even speaking ahead, telling what the judge should do. Those who sit on it at appeal court, and this is not nice.
Well, he's the lead counsel for Wuntumi's case, and so for that, if he has given his opinion on it, he's not the one to give the final say. So let's see how.
But he's influencing the judge.
How is he influencing the judge? You can
General.
actually be picked up for making that statement. So please be careful. Let's proceed to our next topic. Our next topic has to do with punishing false news. Is it gagging or is just claiming justice for passing defamatory comments and also insulting people? Mr. Pate, what can you say to this? Because
This
you've
part,
seen
yes,
that, a lot of people have been picked up.
Yeah, I am very, very particular about
this
particular issue because I don't know why the NPPs are saying people are being picked up because they are speaking against the, and then they are saying what it is political what he has a name for it. Just this morning, as I was coming, so I read cyber vetting and enforcement team arrest TikToker Rita Kunedu, popularly known as Mama One, over alleged offensive and derogatory remarks directed at President John Mahama and First Lady Lordina Mahama just today at Dwabing in the Ashanti region. So I've always been asking myself, why would I take a phone, go to TikTok or take a phone on my camera and then start making false statements about the president? Even if not the president, let's say you or my colleague here, I just wake up and then I go around telling people he has done this and this and this. Meanwhile, I know perfectly that he has not done that. He can take me on. Because this is against the law. Freedom of speech doesn't give you the right to go around and then be making derogatory comments about people. Not only the president. I quite remember in 2018, we were playing football and then we saw that just once a lot of people have gathered just beside the park. So we went there and then we asked what was happening. Do you know what was happening? A man, should I use the word arrested?
Hold.
Yes, so hold someone. What was the reason for that? He said the person was insulting the president. Then His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Yeah, so he's taking him to the police station because freedom of speech doesn't give you the mandate to go around insulting people here, like the Camilla Asan woman like this.
Yeah.
When you listen to people are even saying so she was picked up because she said the president or NDC buried 32 cows. No, that wasn't the reason for her arrest or sentence.
But that alone is defamatory.
Yes, but that wasn't
evidence to that.
That alone wasn't it. When you listen to a lot of things she said about President Mama and then very, very bad, very, very bad. And so for us, we have advised our communicators and then let's say other fanatics that they should be very, very careful with the way they talk, because even as we are in power. So I think 3 or 4 days ago, one guy,
NDC organizer,
you see, he is even a delegate. Yes, he is even a delegate. So I've always been saying, for us, we are disciplined and then we follow due process. But for them, if it were to be under them, they will never arrest anybody who speaks against their own, or let's say speaks against maybe our members. Because if they could, you see, with this Chama Wontumi issue, especially when he was talking about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the wife, to the extent he made a comment that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has the first lady has left the house. Why? Because of some reasons. Basabi. Do you know whom I wish could have taken him home? The then National Security Minister, Kandapa, because that is a national security issue. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former then, was a statesman. And then you have your party's regional chairman sit on live radio making those comments, and then you couldn't say anything. So when it comes to this particular freedom of speech, I'm very particular about that, because freedom of speech, even let me read what the law says here. So I'm coming.
What the laws actually says about freedom of speech,
yeah.
Passing derogatory comments, and also insulting people.
So Article 21, Clause 1, Subclause A states that which explicitly protects the right of freedom of speech, expression, and the press. However, this right is not absolute. Yes, this right is not absolute and is subject to limitations necessary for public order, national security, and the right of others. That was why I was telling you, I wish the then national security could have taken him on for making that comment, because it's a national security threat. Now, aside freedom of speech, when you take your camera and then you make those comments like Camilla and then others have done, it's also contrary to the cyber crime. Do you know that? Yes. Aside, and then in 2001, we had a criminal libel. When they came to power, they abolished. That was the former president, and Nana Akufo. When they came to power, they abolished. So now they made defamation a civil matter, not a criminal offense. That is why they always cry when their fanatics are being taken on. Yes, because they see it as a civil matter. Oh, we the enjoy manenka. Because they abolished the criminal libel, making defamatory comments a civil matter rather than a criminal. But it is a criminal offense, because you can't just go around and then be saying all sort of nasty things about people. If you say that even to a normal, just an ordinary citizen, that person is liable to take you on. How much more the president?
Right. Mr. Jan,
yes, yeah.
What can you say to punishing false news?
Thank you once again.
Do you see it as justice or a threat to freedom of speech?
All right. Where justice is served, we hail it. Where we see it as injustice and intimidation we will speak against it. But I like the word he used. What can you say? That's what he said. And that reminds me of a quote from Paul.
And then the quote in
the book of Romans. He said, in all these, what shall we say? If God be for us, who can be against us? You know, MPP party is a party that is not full of, cowards. But no amount of intimidations will call us back into our shells. Right from the days of Jerry John Rawlings, where intimidation was at its peak, our leaders were able to stand on their feet and challenge Jerry's regime, which everybody believed that was a clear dictatorship kind of government. You're talking about criminal libel law that was repealed in 2001. And for what reason was that law repealed? Just to deal with such kind of situations, intimidations, and the stuff. You get it? This government should understand that they cannot gag people in this era. The Constitution gives us the right. freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Of course, there is a limitation to whatever rights that you have. But if they want to, hide behind that limitation and guard people from expressing their opinions freely, I can tell them that it's not going to work. The youth that are coming now, the more you intimidate them, the more they try to tell you that, of course, we are prepared for more. So I would like to tell this government that, and the Attorney General and whoever think they can use the court and the security apparatus to intimidate NPP people, it is not going to work.
But looking at the comments coming out from these people, I don't know if they are communicators of the NPP or communicators, because as it stands now, both the NDC and the NPP people have been picked up. But looking at these comments, are they palatable enough to be heard?
They are not palatable,
right?
Especially with this Ahasa lady issue, it is not palatable, and I will not endorse that. And of course, NPP leaders, we don't endorse that.
Was that why you didn't turn out for her?
Why should we allow or encourage people to do those kind of acts? But my concern is that, see, if you think now what you did in opposition that aided you to be where you are, those days when you insulted the sitting government, it wasn't even NDC members, just excuse me to say, ordinary NDC members. It wasn't even TikTokers, but the president, the candidate himself, who has been a former president, President John Mahama, he gave a very bad and derogatory remarks or statement against Akufo-Addo, the president then, and the people of Achim, by saying the Achim mafia, the fraudsters, about this Ajapa deal.
So why didn't you pick him up?
Oh, really?
Of course, I'm asking. Why didn't you pick him up?
So
couldn't Nanado sue him?
If President Mahama, not only this, I can quote a lot of statements which we think it is derogatory and shouldn't have come from a former president against a sitting president. He called President Akufo-Addo Jack Toronto, and his.
But he didn't mention his name.
But if you say Jack Toronto and his small boy, who are you referring to?
No, but he didn't mention his.
Do we need?
And then is Jack Toronto.
No. See, as a former president, those kind of innuendos, it trigger uprising. It trigger. It gives impression that you don't want to give respect to the president, all right? Because by then you were also fighting to become the next president. So if you doing this, and when it comes to your turn and people reciprocating what you did, you yourself did against you, what will you do? And this is the situation we find ourselves.
But is it the president that is speaking of these people, or the security agencies are just doing their job? I'm not even sure he's even aware that they are picking up some people.
That is it.
Let me tell you, my dear.
Commander in chief of what? The armed forces.
Mr. Jan, let me. Don't worry, Mr. Jan, let me hear you.
Let us not behave like ostriches. most of the arrest and the pickup are influenced directly from the out there. Oh,
from who?
Oh, my dear. But see, let us not pretend. Unless you want to hide.
We are not pretending. But all we need is facts. Yes, all we need is the facts.
Order from above. Now Yoko is moving like, excuse my word, a crazy lion.
Do you know why they are on Yoko?
Chasing NDC.
Do you know why they are on Yoko?
I'll come to you, Mr. Kweti.
Ramonacha, I don't know what has come by you.
No, but it's not Yoko that is speaking of these people. It's actually the police.
The police.
So the police.
And then His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is not in charge of the police. So what are you saying?
Oh, we are having a nice conversation. Now just punching
know
the
why?
holes and the words you are bringing out.
Do you know why they are on Yoko?
Gang against me today.
Do you know why they are on Yoko? They are on Yoko because during their time Yoko wasn't working.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, I mean I didn't hear of Yoko.
Now that we are having a working country.
Do you know the work of Yoko? The work of Yoko isn't what Raymond Archer is doing.
Okay, so tell us.
This government want to weaponize Yoko to intimidate, political opponents.
What is the mandate of Yoko?
The Yoko is to investigate criminal offenses against the nation.
Economic and then organized crime.
Organized crime.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So that is your investigation. That is what you are supposed to do.
So which of the cases do you think that Yoko has taken that you think is not part of their responsibility?
I'm coming. The way Yoko is going about their work now, it is outrageous.
How are they going about it?
I bet small time, this one is pick up in a rumble style. Small time, this one is pick up without letting him have access to his lawyers, without letting immediate family members get access to him. Is that how to use the law? Is that how the right that have been given to you as Yoko boss? Is that how to use it? He is using it arbitrarily, and it shouldn't be allowed. You see, you are saying those days we didn't hear of Yoko. Yoko was working professionally, and it was doing the work that the constitution has mandated it. Do you understand me? Yoko was not always in the news.
You should be concluding.
I should be concluding.
Yes.
These 2 minutes, my brother had about 10 minutes.
My dear.
You see, Yoko was doing excellent job behind the scene, submarine job. But this Yoko there is, as you say, you saw the drill. You saw the drill that your revolution is on something going around, rumble stars, picking up anybody at all who stand against this current government. But let me tell you, this current government should understand that we are in democracy, and the 1992 Constitution, gives us the right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression. All right. Of course, I will not say that if somebody, commits a crime which is libel or slander, all right, that person should not be called for prosecution. But let this thing, be done decorously. Let it be done within the remits of the law. You can't just go about picking people simply because the person is expressing his view. Most of the people, TikTokers that have been picked were just expressing their views, not necessarily that they are not necessarily that they are. See, we know that there were people who could have been picked. The MPP government could have been picked, but the MPP government allowed those people to do whatever they want to do.
Why? Was it that you were not working with the laws?
We know that. No, not at all. See, of course, the law is there. But you see, you cannot use the law arbitrarily. The law is there, but use the law fairly, just as it's supposed to. These people abuse the laws that they have.
Right.
Because see, everybody believes that Kevin Taylor, who is sitting outside there, is being paid by this current government to go against MPP leaders.
I was not here when he said that.
He said,
yes, you don't have any fact to
take yourself and your station out of it.
All right, you don't have any evidence
Kevin Taylor.
Kevin Taylor is a registered MPP member.
Please,
so how can the other party pay him?
But he says it himself every day.
Yes, he's a registered. He's even coming to contest the national chairman.
Are you rejecting Kelvin?
Not when I am sitting here.
No, he is a registered member.
He's even bidding for national
chairman. What are you saying?
That guy is crazy, and I expect that you shouldn't.
You see,
Mr. Kwate, let me hear you.
Oheneba Buama Beni, a Power FM journalist, jailed for 2 weeks and fined for making allegedly false claims against the president and the Supreme Court regarding the 2020 election. Under them, he was picked up. Captain Smart was also picked up. Mensa Thompson was also picked up. Apia Stadium was also picked up. What would he say about that one too? we all believe that all whatever they said were false. So we were supporting their jail terms. So why would you sit here today and then tell us we are just harassing or intimidating people who are speaking for you? If you sit here and then for the first time you said what you don't condone what Camilla said, but what you have said now you are condoning it.
No, I am saying.
Let him know.
I am
that
saying
he's
that.
condoning it.
I am saying that no
You
matter
let,
who.
let me let Mr. Pate finish with the submission.
No, I want him to answer that he's condoning it. Let him know. Yes,
I've
you
already
are
said
condoning
that.
it.
See, no matter who you are, no matter your position in the MPP, if you make any slanderous statement or if you commit any crime which is libel or slander, I will not endorse that. I will not support that, or will I condone that. But in a situation when people are being seen like they are being gagged from expressing their views, just as you did when you were in opposition, we will not allow you to to intimidate us. And of course we are making it clear to this government and its fanatics that
Which one
FPP
is
members,
freedom
we
of
are not
speech?
cowards.
Which one is
You
freedom
cannot
of speech?
intimidate us.
When?
Right.
Wait.
Mr.
So
Pate,
okay.
your last
okay.
words.
Yeah. So okay. So he is saying we are intimidating people who are freely speaking. Which one is freedom of speech? When even Eura Karim Adams, our incoming Deputy National Communication Officer, was sacked from his job. At that time, he was working at Ghana Maritime Authority. Do you know why he was sacked? Because he attended a demonstration and then spoke live on camera that what the current government then was that was Occupy Jolobi house. Yes. Immediately after that video trended, he was sacked. What would you say about that one? Do you want to say that a civil employee does not have the right to speak because he is working at a state institution? No. Freedom of speech has limitations. That is what we want everybody to, not only MPP members, even our own members. Everybody should know. Freedom of speech has limitations. Yes, so don't go around and then be making derogatory or defamatory comments. Thinking you will go scot free. When you are being caught, you will be jailed.
I'm glad that you've brought this Jorobi matter into this issue.
That
guy,
Mr. Jan, we have closed.
That convener of Jorobi, what is his name?
Oliver Barker.
No, and the other
Bridget,
guy.
Bridget.
No,
or Eura Karim Adams.
No.
Or Raf.
What didn't Raf do? What didn't Raf say? Did you ever hear that?
But Raf was picked up. Yes, I haven't seen Raf was picked up.
All right.
Was
Our
picked
time
up.
is up. Our time is up. Our time is up. Our time is up. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show on GhanaTalks Radio. Thank you to our lovely listeners, to our incredible guests as well. Thank you so much for sharing with us your perspectives on the matters that were on board. Thank you, Mr. Pate, and thank you, Mr. Alex Jan, so much for joining us right here on the morning show. We'll meet same time tomorrow. Do have a lovely day.
Thank you.